So the next thing I need to talk to you about is these, and these are blow-up camping pillows. If I can get them out of the bag, that'd be really good. So yeah, these are blow-up camping pillows. I've got 2. I would recommend only having 2. I think 3 is a bit excessive. These are the blow-up ones that you can get, and they're just like blue and this shape, and they've got a little nozzle on them like you would with an airbed or anything like that, or like one of those big rings you get in the pool. And I just think they're quite comfortable, and because of the material they're made of, they're quite soft as well. I'm going to talk about something quite controversial in the scouting community. I don't know what it's like in the outside camping community, but I know what it's like in the scouting community, is whether or not to wear jeans on camp. A lot of people think they get particularly heavy when they're wet, or a lot of scout groups I know ban them from camps as well, which I think is a bit extreme. I do take jeans on camp, personally. Not for a fashion statement, it's just that the majority of the trousers that I own are jeans, and personally I haven't experimented with this. I probably should have done, and I could like be, haha, I've proved it. But I don't really think there's that much difference between jeans getting wet and like cotton trousers or like jogging trousers, because I think that to be honest, jogging trousers start off heavier anyway, and they're more like absorbent and fluffy, so I'd imagine they took in more water. The only thing I would say is with skinny jeans, and this is like my one point to the other camp, is when skinny jeans get wet, because they're so close to your skin, because obviously you'll get wet and cold, your skin will also get cold as well. So I don't know whether that will affect you, but I think it's a personal choice. And if it is true that jeans are bad for camping, then I think that's something that you need to work out for yourself, whether you're going to sacrifice fashion for the sake of not being cold for the entire camp. But if you want to make that mistake, that is this one kind of relates to boys and girls, but it's more for girls than it is for boys. You can get these, which is sometimes called a snood, sometimes it's called a neck warmer, sometimes it's called, what did I buy it as called? I call this a snood. I've been told that this is wrong, and I've been told that there are many, many different ways of putting this. Some people call it a snood, some people call it a head tube, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Mountain Warehouse's website, which is where I got this from, they call it a head tube, and I just think it's the weirdest way of describing it ever, but I would call it a snood. It doesn't only relate to girls, because boys can wear them too. I don't think it's a particularly feminine item to wear, but yeah, like, this is one of the things that I find particularly useful on scout camps, and I only rediscovered them recently. I used to have a black one of these when I was much younger, when I was about actually probably just joined scouts, when I was about 12, 13 sort of age. I used to wear one of these every single camp, and it was a big black one, and they're used sort of when it's cold, like this, to cover your nose and mouth, ow, to keep you warm, because obviously your nose is quite exposed, and I think they're quite good at night for keeping you warm. But actually I think for girls in particular, or just boys with long hair, they're quite useful just to sort of keep your hair out of your face. There are many different ways you can wear these, which is another reason why they're just fab. I just love the fact that you can wear them sort of any which way. I wear mine a lot like this, and you can also use it as a scrunchie. If you've run out of hairbands, you've still got your snood to like tie your hair up with. If not a snood, then the other thing I recommend buying is one of these, which is a bandana. You don't have to have it in a chavvy, as my brother said, which is really polite, print. You can get plain ones of these, like plain black, whatever, and you can also get literally every colour under the sun. I would recommend getting one of these, because again, they're just really easy for getting your hair out of your face. I mean, and they're just really easy just to tie on your head and forget about. So you can go and get on with whatever you need to go and get on with. Busy scouting girls as we are, we don't have time to fuss around with our hair. This is my waterproof coat. It is a man's waterproof coat because it was cheaper, not for any other reason. But yeah, I like getting the ones with a built-in fleece in the middle. this was a 2-layer one, so it's waterproof and beautiful on the outside, and then it's nice and soft and fleecy on the inside. I didn't order it in green, I ordered it in grey, but then actually when the green arrived I quite liked the green, so I'm keeping the green. So yeah, this, they tell you when you layer up not to buy, a lot of websites will tell you not to buy a size above or a size below or whatever, but I would usually buy sort of a large or even an extra large in normal clothes, because a lot of my clothes are large or extra large. With this coat, I've actually bought it in XXL, mainly because I have boobs, and men's coats don't equate for boobs because they don't, because they're men's coats. And also so that I can layer up underneath, because I like wearing sort of like my Explorer Units hoodie, which is this one, which is quite thick, or like another hoodie like that, and I also like wearing my onesie on camp, which again is quite thick. How to stay sane on scout camp. A lot of girls like very, this is gonna sound quite sexist, but a lot of girls get quite emotional on scout camp, because I think for me one of the things that made me quite emotional when I was younger was the fact that I was one of the only girls from my unit. Like, there was, all the way through Beavers and Cubs and the majority of the way through Scouts, I was the only girl in my unit, and even when I wasn't the only girl in my unit, the majority of the time I was the only girl that went on every camp. So it was quite like a lonely experience, and a lot of people miss home, and I have some tips for missing home. One of them is to take something that reminds you of home, whether it be a particular cushion or a teddy bear or something like that, just something that reminds you of home. Everyone does this on scout camp, I know they do this, but the majority of people like bring a home comfort, like something that reminds them of home, or something that just like you don't get on scout camp, because the majority of the time scout camp food tends to be something carbohydrate, something meaty, and some vegetables, and then like custard and cake for pudding or something similar, something like that. Whereas, so I always bring with me something that reminds me of home, and my thing that reminds me of home is popcorn, and it's something that you don't get on scout camp, which is a shame because it's amazing, but I think that you should, and I bring my own because it makes me happy. Making friends as well if you bring sweets on camp, or popcorn. You're like, does anyone want a bit of popcorn? And then you'll make loads of friends. And the other thing that I bring with me is iced tea, because iced tea reminds me of home, and iced tea just makes me happy. And I don't know if you can be addicted to iced tea. Is there anything in this that I could be addicted to? And look out for my next video, because it will be the one about CBCW. So yeah, I'll see you at CBCW.